Ken Fletcher.
Here.
Jerry Quirian.
Yes.
Ray Karen.
Here.
Ben Twitchell.
Here.
Jeff West.
Here.
Patricia West. Here. Steve Russell.
Yes. Now we have the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Entertain a motion to approve the minutes from last week. Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion, omissions, or corrections? If not, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. We're going to take one thing out of order before we move on to the appointments. We're going to go to the discussion item at the end, which is 1 Rancourt Street sewer backup. If that's okay with everybody. Yes.
This is good, Mr. Chairman. I think actually Jeff and I were involved back in September with this issue. And, you know, it was truly unfortunate because the individual has lived on that property for nearly 25 years. And on 9/18, we did about 1.3 inches and something occurred which had never happened before. And the sewer backed up. You know, I say the sewer backed up. Water was in the basement, right, through whatever cause. And it wasn't water, it was sewage, from what I understand. I wasn't there, but confirmation. And looking at it, saying, boy, you know, how can that happen when there's only 2 people in the house that weren't there? And if there was 3 inches of water in that basement, that was 1,500 gallons. You know, I mean, it's more than you would use in a month. You know, how can water from the house, even if the sewer was plugged, how can we get 1,500 gallons into that basement? So anyway, so we, you know, that we referred this to our MMA Insurance. They came back with a letter that we declined it, and because, you know, it was an act of God. And principally, I still have trouble with that, and so I encourage the person involved to contact the council, write us a letter so that we can give this some consideration. I understand based on Public Works letter that, you know, that they've looked at the pipe, they've looked at the sewer end of it, and yeah, there isn't any smoking gun. I guess that's a bad thing to say in the sewer, right? But you know, but there isn't a smoking gun there, and that there was also a video taken, which I'd like to see, just to see what it is. But I really think that we need to spend some more time on this issue. I did a little bit of research, and this is from New York City Emergency Services. And one of their conclusions was, after a city sewer backup from a heavy rain, there may be a little a property owner can do. But then it says, after the rain dissipates, the city sewer flows normally again, and the water in a basement will dissipate as well. So from what limited research I've done, it doesn't sound like this is an uncommon occurrence. That somehow there's a backup that occurs from the sewer system to get into the basement. So what I would ask is that I'm willing to spend some more time on this. I'd like to see the video, we'll do a little more research to just make absolutely sure that we give this an objective and thorough examination, because something doesn't add up. I don't see how you can get 1,500 gallons in your basement, which is sewage, not water. This isn't water running in. This is something that had to come from that sewer line. Now, those are my thoughts.
I respectfully ask that I still continue with Ken on that.
So what I can do is send the video to everyone, so you can all see it?
Probably help.
Oh, I've already seen it.
Oh, okay. Cheers.
I have not seen it, but I think I'm with Ken. It just doesn't make any sense that this was, you know, something that happened that flooded into the system. I mean, I know water can accumulate very quickly, and it doesn't take long to backflow once you have that positive head pressure in a vessel, even though the pipe is tremendous feet up above and stuff. And something happened that wasn't the homeowner's situation, And I think we need to really make sure before we, you know, we look into it some more to try to see what exactly is, because I think Ken's hit it right on the head. It's that, you know, 1,500 gallons back thing, it just doesn't make any sense at this point. I know that, if I might be so bold, I know that the homeowner is here today. I don't know if, given that she's here, if she wants to have an opportunity to say something.
That's what I was
Through
gonna
the chair would,
Yeah.
we would entertain
That's what I was
that.
gonna ask. Hi,
If you
I'm
want.
Brenda, the homeowner.
You can come right up.
Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is my first time here, Trish. All I can say is I agree with Ken, because there was just so much water and soar and smell, and, you know, I came home to it and didn't really know what to do when it was nighttime, and so I called, you know, Advance One, and I had them for 5 days to dry out my basement. So, and I actually called them up and I said, are you thinking that this is something that really could come from my home? And they said they've seen a lot of instances, but it was so pungent of smell to get that they had to just keep coming back and doing the whatever that stuff they use to get the smell and everything out of there. And I had to have windows open and the big, what do they call, industrial fans. So, and in all honesty, I'm the only one that lives there with my daughter, and she's part-time because she's a student. So, and I don't flush sanitary anythings or diapers or anything in there to plug anything. So I don't know where it came from.
And you know, for goodness, Chairman,
Excuse
you've
me?
lived there 25 years, about?
Almost 26 years now, yes.
Have you had any problems since that one event?
That's it, that's the only time.
So
And I
hasn't-
don't understand how much, I live on a hill, the top, corner of the hill and up. Where did that, I mean, I don't know, water goes up? I thought water came, I mean, I don't know, I'm just saying, there was so much water and it was incredible. And I had to have the whole, you know, that much cut off all through the bottom, all my furniture disposed of and taken away, the door cut to the actual room where the electrical box and the sewer and everything. And like I say, all the furniture was wooden. I had, you know, pantries and stuff that had to be all cut up and thrown away. So the only thing down there right now is a futon and a metal system where my stereo was on.
You know, for goodness, Chairman, the thing I want to make sure of, and of course, this occurred on September 18th of last year, right? I think approximately,
Yeah.
19th or something
I
like
think it was
that.
the 19th, yes.
And so you really haven't done
September
anything
19th.
to your sewer since then, right? You know, I mean, it is not like that you've had a pipe replaced or anything.
No, I have not, sir,
So,
no.
for, what is that, 5 months, the event hasn't occurred.
No.
Had a lot of rain since then.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Had a lot of rain.
Right, so my logic is, if there was a problem with that pipe that was blocking, it would have occurred by now.
And the reason it took so long for, you know, and me to get it, you know, like to get CMD or anybody do anything is everybody was so busy.
Right.
That's why it's taken me so long to get people lined up to figure out, you know, how did this happen?
Right.
Because, I mean, I'm talking to people too that are plumber and heating people and asking questions constantly, and I did that night get an emergency call for Bob the plumber in Belgrade to come right over, you know, because I said I really need to have this taken care of like ASAP. So he came over and he went, what, 105 feet out to the road, whatever that means. I mean, I don't know all this terminology, but he said there was no obstructions, no blockage, no nothing. So,
If there was an obstruction in her line, then it wouldn't have come in, you know what I mean? It wouldn't have been able to flow through into the basement. That's, you know, there was,
Right.
it wouldn't make sense that there's an obstruction in your line. It wouldn't make
Right.
any sense for that because
Right.
you were the one that, whether the
Right.
level of the tank was, you know, you were the pressure relief valve for that system, sounds like. I don't know, but, you know, I don't wanna comment.
and in all honesty, Ray, I don't either. I just know that
Yeah.
it was ungodly. I mean, we were in rubber boots.
Yeah.
And and it took me days, and in all honesty, that whole smell is not out.
Right. Oh,
It just isn't. I mean, I threw everything away that's possible. I mean, I still got metal, like the, the stand and that. But
Give it a
that's-
year, you'll be fine.
Excuse me?
Give it a year, it'll go away.
Thanks, Jeff.
Been there, done it.
I know you did, you told me, but I'm just saying, right, and it's just, it's gross. It's just, nobody wants to be down there, and I just finished it 2 years prior as a family room. So now I'm just back to square one, except the walls are still there, but you had to cut all the way around the bottom.
How much water was in there? Approximately? 5 inches, 6 inches?
Oh, at least,
Okay,
yeah.
so.
I mean, when I got down there, I didn't see it. I stepped off the bottom step and went right down because it was like 4:30 in the afternoon when I got home from work. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Stepped down. I was like, you couldn't even see it until I literally turned the light on downstairs and then saw the floating and.
yeah.
And you had seen it the day before and it wasn't like that?
No, because I usually go downstairs and get stuff out. I have a pantry right at the bottom, and I'll go get stuff out of the pantry, like for work or whatever, if I need snacks or something. And in all honesty, Ken, I wasn't down there that day before, but the evening prior, I had.
Okay.
You would have smelled it though. You would have smelled it the day before if it was leaking. I mean,
Trish, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was repulsive.
Yeah.
And no sump pump, no nothing in the cellar?
I
Yeah.
never had a problem, so I
Yeah,
never.
I know.
No,
I'm just-
right, but no, no, Ray. I ended up, in all honesty, I have one of those, what do they call, wet vac, shop vac things that Todd always kept downstairs in the basement. Well, it's like one of those ones like this.
Yeah.
Well, I started doing that. Hey, listen, I don't know. I was trying.
Do you think it, and through the chair, did it come out is your washer dryer downstairs?
No,
So,
my
how
washer
did it-
dryer's on the main
Yeah,
floor.
how did it relieve going into the?
Floor drain.
Huh?
Floor
Floor drain?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else set?
I'm all set, thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Thank you.
Add a little bit to this.
Oh, excuse me.
Sure.
I think.
About the same time that this happened to this lady here, Mary Fortier, I think it's on West Baker. It's a dead-end street. The same thing happened to her. And she spent weeks
Cleaning that
cleaning
up.
up. She had Surfo come in and clean up. And they spent weeks in cleaning.
We want to hear from Public Works Director. Do we need to hear from Paul?
Thank you, I don't know.
No, I think,
You're all
well, as far as I'm concerned, I think
I'm all set.
Jeff and I will
Yep,
look at the
and I wanna
video
see
and
the video,
whoever else
yeah.
and
Yeah, I'll let you
let
look
people
at it,
know
too.
that we're not gonna be doing anything, so if people wanna be involved, and we'll
Yep.
try to gather some more information.
Okay, thank you.
I know, Paul,
Thank you.
Steve, I know Paul wrote a letter,
Yeah.
read it and stuff, and diagram and stuff.
Yep.
If he wanted to say something now, that would be, but maybe not, maybe not.
Would you have anything to add? You want to wait till we...
I'm still adding it, it's not our fault. I mean, if you look at the diagram, there's no way the water backed up there. We opened up that manhole, as soon as she called up, we'll search out that manhole.
Okay.
It's your call.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay.
You don't have to
Thanks
stay.
a lot.
Open.
What's that?
You're good. You don't have to stay.
Okay. Thank you.
Unless you want to be, right?
What's that, I'm sorry?
Nothing, no.
He was making a joke.
Don't make it a joke. Shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Shouldn't do that.
Okay, so if there's no other discussion on that, we'll move on. Is that okay? Yep. We'll begin with the Agricultural Committee. We have 2 appointments, and 2 people have volunteered. I don't see either one of them here, right?
No.
No.
They have attended one of our meetings already, right?
Yes.
And so
Yep.
they look like they're going to be a good fit. Do we want to do all these appointments as one?
Yes.
Okay. The next one is for the Board of Reassessment of You. We have has one vacancy, and the Cemetery Trustees has one vacancy. And so Justin Smith wants to apply for both of them, is that correct? Okay. And then we have the Zoning Board of Appeals, which has 3 vacancies, and Wyatt Curian has applied for that. We still need 2 more. So I'll entertain a motion to accept all of those vacancies.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Jerry, is Wyatt your cousin?
No.
Probably somewhere down the line.
One of a
I
hundred.
don't know who he is.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Communications updated 2019 roster of elected officials. I think, did you give us that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did.
They sent that.
And then we will go to reports of committees and commission, and we'll begin with the town manager's report.
So the only thing I have are our general codes. As you know, we've been going through a process to update our codes. And so we're to the point now where I'll be sending those to the town attorney for his review. And then after that, we're going to need to make a decision whether we want to move forward with a comprehensive update and readoption of the code. And in my report, I pointed out the benefits, I think, of doing that. And of course, the other option would be just to take those amendments and just do them one at a time as we've done in the past. So I'd like to, hoping to get some direction from the council on your preference.
Not one at a time.
Go ahead, Ray.
I think as painful as it is, I think if there are changes, I know it's painful, but I personally, last time we did it one at a time, that I get some benefits from it. And I guess I could go through them. I plan on going through them one at a time, so if the council doesn't feel that that's necessary, I respect that decision. But I would like to do it in a public setting, just to hear what other people have to say, but that's just my opinion.
Any other thoughts?
You know, if I could, when we do this, whether we do it one at a time or we do it in a combined effort, all that information is going to be available to the public.
Yes, either way.
Right, you know what I mean? It's not like there's one sheet of paper that says,
Correct.
we adopt these 25 pages of changes.
Right.
It will be that whole document's going to be available,
Correct.
and it's really just one proceeding rather than having 40 proceedings.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would be inclined, certainly that we want public input, full knowledge and everything, but I think it'd be, rather than have people come 40 times, have them come once and have a chance to look at the total document and review it.
Yeah.
And then we could consider it at that time.
Yeah.
So a public hearing and the
Yeah.
whole works. Yeah.
And we could stretch it out over a few meetings too, right? So cover sections.
Kind of like what we did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
And
many
then-
are we thinking? Like how
Well,
much?
it was that packet.
Yeah, it was that
Right, was that
packet,
one?
yes.
Yeah, so
There was quite a few changes.
Oh, and
A lot of strike-throughs.
you know,
Yeah.
good, Mr. Chairman, there was what I call the substantive changes, which have got to do with real change, and in lots of cases, it was just correcting language.
Cleaning stuff up.
Chairman versus this
Yeah.
versus that, you know, nothing that's going to
Right.
be
but
made.
they were a lot that contradicted each other.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you pick those type out of the whole thing?
So is the consensus is that we'll move forward with the comprehensive update? Okay, so with that, once I get it back from the attorney, assuming there's no changes, if he does propose changes, I'll bring it back to you folks, and then I'll forward it on to the codes folks. Good, thank you. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, any other questions for the town manager? If not, you have the other department head reports, the finance committee report, the financial report. Do you have any questions on those? If not, I'll entertain a motion to
Second.
accept our reports. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Passes unanimous. So, table business, old business, and where's my first new business one? We'll move on to new business then. Beginning with order number 2, 2019, an order providing for authorization of town manager to increase the fire department staffing by hiring a new full-time firefighter EMT. Be it ordered by Town Council of Town of Winslow as follows. Whereas the Winslow Fire Chief has expressed a concern about his department's inability to provide 2 in and 2 out on a fire call with only 2 people per shift. And whereas the desire of the town to safely provide fire and EMS service. And whereas add an additional fire EMS personnel is necessary. Now, therefore, be it ordered by the Town Council, Town of Winslow, that the town manager is hereby authorized to increase the fire department staffing by hiring one new full-time firefighter EMT.
So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded, open for discussion.
Go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say, as was pointed out, actually at the last meeting, you, in essence, you didn't have the document, physical document in front of you, but you took the first vote and then waived the second reading.
Question?
Yep.
Steve, if I could.
Yes.
Can you tell us who you hired?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's from Winslow, right? Yes, okay.
Okay, we all set? Any more questions? Is that a roll call vote?
It is.
Okay, go ahead.
Ken Fletcher?
Yes.
Jerry Quirian?
Yes.
Ray Karen?
Yes.
Ben Twitchell?
Yes.
Jeff West?
Yes.
Patricia West?
Yes.
Steve Russell?
Yes. We will move on to order number 3, 2019, in order providing for an amendment to order 11, 2016, by increasing the project costs on Clinton Avenue MPI project with Maine DOT to $680,000, which increases the town's portion by $180,000 to a grand total for the town of $430,000. Be it ordered by the Town Council, Town of Winslow as follows. Whereas the Public Works Director recommended an increase in the scope of the Clinton Avenue project to improve the condition of the road, and whereas the Maine DOT provided additional funding for the increased scope of work through a municipal partnership agreement, now therefore be it ordered by the Town Council, Town of Winslow, that order number 11, 2016 be amended by increasing the project costs on Clinton Avenue MPI project with Maine DOT to $680,000, which increases the town's portion by $180,000 to $430,000.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
You know, good, Mr. Chairman, right?
No, I just would like to know what the how the scope changed and what benefits that we did achieve with that extra added money.
Well, how the whole project started, the original order was for just the hill, 600 feet. When we got done, we still had about $110,000 of state money we had to spend. So they allowed us to extend the project and use the rest of their state money, with us being responsible for the balance.
Yeah.
So we ended up adding 1,400 feet to get up to Kidder Street. So we've done probably almost 3 times the original project.
Yeah.
And that's where the extra money. I just wanted to get this article passed so that the council order matches what we've already spent, so that when the auditors come in, they don't question, you know.
Okay.
We approved 500, we spent 680, we said, go.
And that's gonna be, there's still some, I see there's some lower spots of water collecting.
We're working with a contractor right now. He was up Friday, supposedly looking at the spots, and we're trying to figure out who's gonna come good for it.
Was that the final coat? Was it the final, what was it?
It is the final
It
call,
is, so-
until we do something different.
So we gotta fix it, some of the stuff there, I see.
They need to fix it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we're starting discussions. Obviously, we can't do a whole lot, and
No,
the
I
frost comes
know.
out. We'd
Yeah.
like to do a survey and see where the deficiencies are, but now that there's frost in the road, it's really.
Yep, okay.
It's not right, so.
Thank you.
No, I'm all set. Yeah.
Anybody else? Yes, sure.
How much return are we holding from the contractor?
Right now, our retainage is about $30,000, 5% of the contract. We were, I think we actually proposed to hold more. That's what kind of lit a fire under them on Friday, so we'll see where we go. You know, we're trying to hold enough that if they don't want to come back and be good for it, then we'll have enough money that we can do it, so. More
We all set? Any other questions? Okay, roll call vote.
Ken Fletcher?
Yes.
Jerry Quirian?
Yes.
Ray Karen?
Yes.
Ben Twitchell?
Yes.
Jeff West?
Yes.
Patricia West?
Yes.
Steve Russell?
Yes. We will move on to order number 4, 2019, an order providing for an amendment to order 13, 2018 by increasing the project cost for the storm drain system on Hollowell Street to a total cost not to exceed $320,000, an increase of $70,000. Be ordered by the Town Council, Town of Winslow as follows. Whereas the public storm drain on Hollowell Street cost more than originally estimated, and whereas the work needed to be done, and whereas the Public Works Director has received a final estimate of $320,000 for the project. Now therefore be it ordered by the Town Council, Town of Winslow, that order number 13, 2018 be amended by increasing the project cost of the storm drain system on Hollowell Street to a total cost not to exceed $320,000, an increase of $70,000.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Yes.
Is that where the dip is? That's gonna be taken care of? That's part of that program, right?
That's part of Cedar, that's part of the Cedar Brook project. Hollowell
Oh,
is
Cedar Brook.
the street between Halifax and Clinton. We still have a layer of pavement to put in there.
Okay.
But the original order was 250,000. When we got our bids open and with the engineering or the inspection, we were up around 290. We never changed the order back then. And since we've paved, we've got a couple areas that we found we've had water coming out of the banks running into the road. So in the spring, we've added a little extra work to take care of that before we pave it. So that's where the 320 is coming from.
Anybody else? We all set?
All set.
Roll call vote?
It is Ken Fletcher.
Yes.
Jerry Kurian. Ray Karen.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. Ben Twitchell.
Yes.
Jeff West.
Yes.
Patricia West.
Yes.
Steve Russell.
Yes.
Can I take out of order just a minute? Because Paul mentioned the Cedar Brook with the last culvert being put in finally. I see it in your report, which is great. Because that was the CH Vigu location for the lumber yard, which we purchased that land because adjacently we were going to have some issue with that. And now that's town-owned property, I believe, right? And I know that it has, how much footage of water access?
I'm not sure what the river frontage is. I mean, we've got about 100 feet of the road, but it goes out behind that house. I know.
Yep, so
We probably have 300-400 feet.
I just think we ought to have, like, since we have land, it's gonna be in town, somebody's gonna make a trail down there to access the river from the neighborhood, maybe through the Park and Recreation Department, that we take a look at that property and take a look at whether it would be, if we want a path or we want something that the town would, because people are gonna be on that property and people are gonna be going down to the river. It's I think they will.
I think so, yes.
And so I think we should be a little bit
Be proactive about it.
proactive and look into that, just so for safety reasons, for a whole bunch of other reasons, you know.
Good, Mr. Chairman, I think that's a good idea, but I think that we need to have some estimate as to what that project would cost, rather than just go ahead and do it.
Sure,
Because,
yeah.
you know, it's like anything else, you know, that there has to be part of a budgeted activity, rather than just start little projects in town.
Right, and I'm not saying anything has to be done. All I'm saying is that
Should be
we
looked
ought to take a look at it, and we ought to, because, you know, it
I
is.
think this spring, when we get done cleaning up the site and burying all the debris that's left over, you'll have a better chance to look at it.
Yep, yep.
I mean, I
Yeah.
see that in the future, some kind of parking space, where maybe somebody can go fishing or access to the river, but I mean, it's something that has to be planned.
I don't know, and I don't have an opinion of it, but I think that we should
Yeah,
look
I'm
at it.
down behind
And I
that.
think there's gonna be property there that we need to look at.
I mean, there are trails behind the old, where Good Rose is now, they already have a trail system in there, so
Yeah.
it's a good idea. I mean,
So park there and access the whole trail, type of system maybe, yeah. Okay. Okay, so now we will move on to, let's begin with resolution number 6, 2019, which is a resolution regarding the poverty hardship abatement, request number 001, 2009. Need a motion on the table.
Second.
Is this the order we took them in?
No.
We took the 2 first, 2, 3, and then 1.
And then one, okay. Any discussion on the first one, number 1? Resolution number 6. If not, is that a roll call vote, or is that a?
It is not.
It is not. So, a show of hands in favor of resolution number 6. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Resolution fails. Move on to resolution number 7, 2019, a resolution regarding poverty hardship abatement, request number 002, 2019. Motion on the floor, please.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Was this the first one we took up?
Yes.
Yes, yes, it is.
Yep, okay. Any discussion on resolution number 7? If not, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Move on to resolution number 8, 2019. A resolution regarding poverty hardship abatement, request number 003, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, open for discussion. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion fails. Right, did I get it right?
You did.
Okay.
Can I ask a quick question? Ben, did you vote for on the first one?
I did not.
And
He
the last
abstained.
one you
I
abstained? Thank you.
Abstain. We will move along to Resolution 9, 2019. A resolution providing for a pawnbroker's license for James A. Smith, DBA Jim's Gun Shop, 46 Bay Street, Winslow, Maine. Be resolved, Town Council, Town of Winslow as follows. Town Council acting as municipal officers approve the issuance of a pawnbroker's license to James A. Smith.
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Passed unanimous. Moving on to resolution number 10, 2019. A resolution providing for authorization for the town manager to invest the Kenneth and Shirley Esklin Library donation of $97,000 with the Maine Community Foundation. Be it resolved by Town Council of the Town of Winslow as follows. Whereas the Esklin donation requires that the funds be invested and managed professionally. And whereas the library director and the town manager have determined that the Maine Community Foundation is the best investment option for the funds. Now therefore be resolved by Town Council of the Town of Winslow, the town manager is hereby authorized to invest the Kenneth and Shirley Esklin Library donation of $97,000 to the Maine Community Foundation. And be further resolved that the town manager is hereby authorized to sign the attached agreement with the Maine Community Foundation.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, as you folks know, the library director and myself looked at our options. We actually met with these folks as well as another financial institution, and it's our opinion that this is really our best option. They're going to invest the money more aggressively than what we're doing now, and I think we'll get a much better return on the investment, so that's why we're proposing this.
Yes, sir.
How much does the library have? Not only the 97,000, but the other funds?
It's 385.
Yeah.
Total.
I think
Now, is the rest of that gonna be going into the same fund?
Eventually,
Okay.
that's my intent.
It's in CDs now.
It's in
right?
CDs right
It's in
now.
CDs.
and
So
it's
you gotta let
not a-
those mature first.
Yeah, no, yes. And it's not a great return, really. So,
Any further questions?
No,
Discussion?
just, you know, I can come in and look at the fine print of the Maine Community Foundation, but it's not, I mean, it's consent, you have to get, they have to get consent before they change anything, and you're in charge of the thing.
Yes.
They don't have discretionary over the funds, over investments, do they?
yeah, so they identify the funds that they invest in.
Yeah.
And it's kind of unique because they take all the money, they've got over 500 million
Yeah.
that they take and they invest, and so they can invest somewhat aggressively, more so than if we went out on our own
Yeah.
to do the investment. So they let you know what the portfolio is.
Yes.
But they manage the money.
Yep, and then they'll give you quarterly reviews, is that
Yes.
how it goes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Any further discussion?
Could because it's kind of a unique situation for, you know, donated money. Could you, as part of that quarterly review, just in your town manager's report, make that part either on a yearly basis or semi-annual basis, what the
Income was?
how we're doing with the fund and
Yes.
how that's going?
Absolutely.
Okay, that would
Probably
be
make
great.
it part of the financial
Yep.
report when I get those
Okay.
quarterly
Great.
reports.
Great.
So that you can see them.
Yep, great, that would be
That's a
great.
good idea.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? That's not a roll call, we.
It is not.
Okay. All in favor, please raise your right hand.
Thank
Opposed, same sign. Pass unanimous. Now, does somebody have the executive session? Read out,
Mike
print
does.
out? Mike, do you have that? Somebody can read?
Ken, do you mind?
Yeah, sure. Mr. Chairman, I move to enter into executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA subsection 405(6)C, disposition of real property.
Okay.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Pass unanimous.